I'm Monsignor Landry, National Director of the Pontifical Mission Societies in the United States, coming to you from the Fulton J. Sheen Museum and the Spalding Pastoral Center of the Diocese of Peoria, Illinois. Before, the shoes that Archbishop Fulton J. Sheen used to occasionally wear when he was celebrating Mass, especially in his full Episcopal regalia, insofar as he was National Director of the Pontifical Mission Societies for 16 years, from 1950 to 1966. I'm literally trying to fill those shoes of Fulton J. Sheen, big shoes to fill, big shoes for a person who is about my height. But what a great challenge that is. In today's gospel, we have a specific passage that is hard for any of us Christians to fill the shoes of those who have come before us. Jesus, during the middle of the Last Supper, tells us that he's going to send us the Holy Spirit, and we're going to need the Holy Spirit because they're going to drag us before courts, they're going to drag us before synagogues, all on account of his name. But he says that we're not to worry at that time because the Holy Spirit will give witness together with us and through us to the greatest truths. We remember hearing on Friday Jesus telling us during the most beautiful chapter in St. John's Gospel, it's chapter 15, finding the branches, love one another as I have loved you, just the Father loves me, so I love you. He gets on to the fact that because Jesus was hated, they will hate us the more we reflect Jesus. But we're not going to be left alone in those circumstances. God the Holy Spirit's going to come to us, just like he came to the first disciples and apostles of Jesus, so that they would be able to give joint witness to Jesus' resurrection and that he is someone worth living for and dying for. That's what our first forefathers in our faith, the first wave of Christian disciples, did. They were not afraid of the same Sanhedrin that had executed Jesus because they had seen Jesus rise 40 hours after his crucifixion. And so they knew that not even a brutal public execution was able to keep him in the tomb. And so they were able to be courageous. That same faith that inspired the first wave of apostles certainly inspired Archbishop Sheen. It was the source of his courage. He was someone who was able to preach out of season the message of the gospel. When people wanted to live according to all of their pleasures, he would proclaim the joy of the cross. When people wanted to live according to ideology, he was preaching solid theology based on the rock-solid truths of who God is and who we are. He's one who shows us the example of courage to live out our faith and proclaim it even in the midst of some of the hardships we occasionally adore as Christians in workplaces, from some of the people who are woke, from some of the people who are anti-Christian because of secularism or whatever. Fulton J. Sheen is a model for us of that type of apostolic courage. And so today we ask for the gift of the Holy Spirit that so infused his life, that infused the life of the early church, so that we won't be afraid when people come after us, because we'll know that that will be a powerful pulpit by which, through what we say in our nonverbal body language, we might be able to give witness to the fact that we know Jesus is risen from the dead, that he is with us, and that even should people take our life, death would be nothing other than a change of address. This is what we Christians celebrate throughout the Easter season. This is what Fulton J. Sheen proclaimed. What a great gift.